I think he's a very versatile guy. I'm anxious to watch him more. I think he's got a really good skill set, both offensively, ability to make plays and finish plays, but also he's tenacious on the puck. So I think he can move up and down our lineup and play anywhere we feel we need him. He can help us on the power play as well. And I got to try to give him some penalty kill time. He hasn't had a great deal of time in the penalty kill in his career, but I'm hoping to get him some looks there and see what that looks like. I think from a skill set standpoint, in terms of how he skates, his anticipation, he's hungry on the puck, all the things that we want on our penalty kill. He seems to have those traits, but he just doesn't have a great deal of experience. So we're going to give him those opportunities. But he's another guy I'm excited about. Obviously, he's got to stay healthy and all of that. All signs are good here thus far, but I think he's got a really good skill set. Because he hasn't played and his injury history and such, there's not a lot of talk about him, but he's a very, very good and reliable player.
Why did you decide to move Mitch from the half wall to the bumper spot on the power play?
We just think, it's something we haven't tried, and we want to get a look at that, see what it looks like. We feel like that's an area that's underutilized by us, and getting the puck in Mitch's hands in that space, he's got as good an ability or better than anyone we have in terms of getting out of tight spaces and creating a play that you would otherwise think isn't there. And then, of course, it gives us the ability then to have two shooters on the flanks at the same time. So we want to get a look at it. We like what we've seen in practice so far, not just on that unit, but on the other groups as well that have been the same kind of focus on the interior of the ice. But it's early, and we'll get a look at it.
Why do you think Spencer is suited to the power play role when it comes to the coaching staff?
First of all, he's obviously a fresh voice, fresh eyes. In that sense, we still have Manny on the staff, and he and Spencer work closely towards making a plan and building out a plan, and then through our review and daily process, they'll work together on that. But Spencer's a great coach. He's got a good vision and a good plan, and has that perspective as a head coach in terms of how things play out and such. But the biggest thing is just fresh voice, fresh eyes, good ideas, and just think it was a good fit for us given what we went through last season.
Sheldon, I know it's early, applies to everything, but what are you thinking, or what are you seeing so far of the way you've gone with the defense pairs and the veteran with the younger guy, and how that is progressing for you? Again, I know it's only been one game.
Yeah, it has only been one game, but in terms of what I see on the ice in practice and the discussions that are happening, between the pairs is good. Those are discussions obviously that wouldn't happen if you've got young guys with young guys and you got the older guys that are comfortable and used to playing with each other. They're them talking with each other and helping each other out. That helps them. It doesn't necessarily help our team grow. So that's a big part of what the early portion of preseason and training camp is about for me. Is our team has to grow. We've got to build something here. So part of it is about getting the established and veteran players up and running and ready for the season. But we need to grow as a team, and individuals need to grow. And we think getting our leadership more spread out throughout the groups allows us to do that.
Sheldon, there was an unfortunate incident in Ukraine, a racially based player making fun of the other player for the skin. What would you do as a coach if you witnessed that?
I don't know specifically about what you're talking about, because I haven't seen that myself, but I think it's well established that none of those things are going to be tolerated, and certainly wouldn't be tolerated by me or our organization whatsoever.
What are you looking for from McKayev and SDA that warranted a second game and second?
Well, the Mikheyev one has a lot to do, frankly, with just Pierre Engvall not being available. Just created another left wing position there, so it's a chance for us to get somebody else involved and wanting to get Mikheyev some different looks. It just worked out and made sense that we thought he would be the right guy. Robertson is coming right off of rookie tournament, where he played 4 games in 5 nights not too long ago, and it's been a tough 3 days leading up to our day off yesterday, so didn't think he was a fit there. So we're giving Mickey the go here tonight. I forgot the other question. SDA, just with him, I liked his game the other day. He didn't get a lot of minutes. So another chance for him to play again tonight. I think he's a really good, smart, young player with great skills, and the more experience we can get him, the better for him and us.
Sheldon, in the Amazon series, you seem to use the word fragility a lot. How do you think the series might have portrayed a fragility with last year's team, and what do you think the key is to moving past that sort of belief this season?
Yeah, I don't know specifically about what you're referring to in terms of me using that term or if I use it a lot, but I think we're a team that is trying to build something that's sustainable when things are hardest, and until you've actually done that, you're going to question whether you're going to have what it takes or whether you're doing the right things. And having our own belief in what we're doing and who we are as a team is important. It was important last season. It's going to be important this season. Of course, with the show upcoming here, there's going to be a lot of reflection and a lot of talk on last season. But within our walls here, we're 100% focused on what's happening this time around.
One of the big moments in that was Paul McLean saying basically the team is his own worst enemy at this point, at some point through the Montreal series. Did you agree with that assessment?
Like I said, again, the show is going to bring up a lot of questions and things. I'm not going to entertain a lot of your questions on it, to be honest, because we're moving ahead with what's happening here.
When you have a bunch of assistant coaches the way that you do, how does that benefit you as a head coach, just having all those voices?
It benefits me greatly. There's a lot happening in the NHL season, NHL schedule. And we've got a lot of different things to manage, and we want to be really good in every area of the game. So the more voices that we have, the more we're able to connect and spread out the resources amongst the players. Helps us greatly there, and we've got a really good mix of guys who've been head coaches for a long time, and Spencer and Dean. Dean, of course, great experience as assistant coach here in the NHL now, and coming from a good organization in Carolina where they've had success, and he's had success working with them, specifically on the penalty kill. Just really helps us there. And I've got Manny's experience as well, which is a very important perspective as a former player and a guy that was in a young and rebuilding team that won playoff series in Vancouver, and just think it rounds out our staff really well.
How did Manny take that conversation when you let him know that Spencer was going to come in and kind of take some of that responsibility?
Yeah, tough conversation, because he was brought here to do a job, but Manny's a team guy, and like I said, he's still very much involved in everything that we're doing off the ice, including the power play.
What are your expectations for Wayne Simmons this season, and how vocal were you with Kyle and the decision to bring him back?
We really value Wayne and what he brings. Thought last season, he, in particular up until he got injured, really brought a spark to our team. He brings energy, life. Obviously, the physicality speaks for itself. His experience, I think, is really important for us. I also think he's one of those players that maybe didn't get the full experience, in particular playing in front of fans. I think a player like him and what he brings, and then you throw in the local flavor and factor, I think you get so much more out of that type of role. So for him to come back and be a part of our group, and the more players you can have that experience what we went through last season, I think really helps us. We've got enough new blood in here that helps shake things up and give us increased depth, but it's also nice to have people that have been through the battles with you.
What's the goaltending plan for tonight?
Campbell's going to start, and Mrazek will go in halfway.